Ooh, Traymon Smith with the visor warming up at Hard Rock Stadium. The Texans are getting ready to take on a 7-3 Miami Dolphins team coming off their bye. Some quarterback changes in the works for the Houston Texans. They've got a new quarterback under center today. It's a cloudy day in Miami, 30% chance of rain. Is there a chance for a win? We'll get you ready for today's game with some top storylines, and we're going to answer your fan questions. Texans Unlimited Live, presented by Verizon, starts now.
Welcome to our coverage of Houston Texans football.
Keep it real simple. Play fast and shoot.
Let's go, Texans! Let's go!
Welcome into Texans Unlimited Live, presented by Verizon. I've got my good friend Cecil Shorts, former Texans wide receiver, now Texans legend and host extraordinaire for Texans home games. Also, my very good co-host for away games. Cecil, welcome in. Hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Yes, ma'am, I did.
The Texans, not a lot to be thankful for in recent weeks, but Lovie Smith came out with the news on Friday, made it official. Texans will be starting Kyle Allen for today's game, which I guess is our big story heading into to Miami.
Yeah. Anytime you bring a backup in, I feel like it can bring a spark to the offense and a spark to the team. And I know it may not be a permanent benching for Davis Mills, but if you can bring some spark to the offense and you're playing against a defense, in my opinion, that gives up a lot of points, especially in the first half, but to get something going on offense, it could be a good thing.
What's it like for receivers? Because they split reps throughout the week. Obviously, Davis Mills has been getting first-team reps all the weeks leading up here to week 12. But what's it like for the receivers sort of building that chemistry with the backup quarterback?
It's a lot of time. It's a lot of time after practice, a lot of time before practice, kind of extra time in the film room because different quarterbacks like different routes run differently, different spots on the field that they are looking at. So it's a lot of time and communication between the receivers and the quarterback when a new guy comes in. But again, it can bring a spark. It can bring some excitement. And Kyle Allen has a history of doing some good things when he comes in this role.
All right, well, let's get into some of your quick hits presented by BMW. Lovie Smith made the decision official. He announced it on Friday. Kyle Allen will start for the Texans, but it's not a permanent change. Here's what Lovie Smith had to say.
We take it day by day with everybody. We naming lifetime starters. No, that's not the case at all. This is what we think we need to do for this game. It's that way for every position. If we don't feel like that option that we have that's getting the most reps that's giving us our best chance to win, may be the case for other positions this week for that matter. And I don't plan on all of a sudden announcing starters on Tuesday, Wednesday. We're not going to do that. We're going to go through the week, just like we handle this situation. At the end of the week, we'll let guys know exactly which direction we go.
And Kyle Allen will get his first start since November 8th, 2020, when he was a starting quarterback for Washington. Here was Allen's reaction when he found out that he would be getting his first start as a Texans quarterback.
It's cool for me. This is year 5. I've played every single year of my career. I was undrafted. There's been a lot of adversity. The last start I had was in 2020 when I broke my leg. So this is the first start since breaking my leg. So personally for me, it's kind of a cool, overcoming adversity moment and getting back on the field. It was really tough being injured and last year kind of still injured, powering through that, and then this year feeling good and being able to get back out there. So personally it's awesome. I mean, you go into the season just wanting to play your role, but you always want to see time on the field, so I'm excited.
And the offense turned the ball over twice last week. It's a point of emphasis to protect the ball better. For the defense, they've not forced a takeaway since that game against Philadelphia on Thursday Night Football. Desmond King said, takeaways, a big point of emphasis for this defense as they look to get back on that train again today.
I mean, that's our goal as a team. You know what I'm saying? We want to, on offense, protect the ball. Defense, we want to get the ball for our offense. So that's just something that we've been stressing, for the past year since I've been here. So, that's going to be the goal. That's going to be, one of our values as a team in each and every game. And we just got, like you said, we got to create those turnovers on defense and offense. We just got to protect the ball.
And Desmond King will look to get a takeaway today. The last time he got one was in Jacksonville when the Texans got a win. He will get a start again today because we look at our inactives for this week, and once again, Derek Stingley makes the list. He's out with a minor hamstring injury, so he'll miss his second straight game. As far as the rest of the inactives, Brevin Jordan, another healthy scratch. And the newcomers, Amari Rodgers and Eno Benjamin, you'll have to wait a little bit longer for them to make their Texans debut as they are inactive once again. Those are your inactives for today's game against the Dolphins. And there you go, looking live at Kyle Allen as he gets ready. It's year 5 for him. He's gone through so much adversity in his career, and he looks to, like you said, Cecil, get a spark going back for this offense. What do you hope to see from Allen today?
I want to see some balls down the field. Like, I want to see Nico, I want to see Cooks used going down the field. Last week, I think we only had 148 yards total offense. So I want to see him taking some shots down the field. I want to see, honestly, I want to see Pep open the playbook up a little bit more. Of course, we got to get the running game going with Mr. Pierce. He didn't have a good showing last week. The offense didn't have a good showing last week. But when you got a guy like Allen, who has a strong arm, who we've seen make good plays before with other teams, I want to see him go down the field, take some shots. I mean, to be honest, you got nothing to lose. Let's go out there and have some fun. You have to score this week to keep up with this Miami offense.
Yeah, I think that's a great point because I want to see how Pep Hamilton opens up the offense or the playbook. Is it going to be the same playbook? Is it noticeably different with Kyle Allen in the mix? Are they going to try some different things with his skill set? He is obviously a little bit more mobile.
Yeah.
From what we hear, we've not seen him in a Texans uniform do a bunch of stuff because in the preseason he was out. He was inactive for those games. We didn't see too much of him. But let's get into some of your fan questions presented by Daikin. Logan wants to know, can we expect to see any tangible difference in the offense today with Kyle Allen at quarterback? And we touched on it just a little bit. Things are a little crazy over there in Miami, as you can see from the camera work, but we'll keep you steady over here. As far as the offense goes, a lot of changes. What do you expect to see? We do know he's, Lovie said, a more mobile quarterback.
Right.
Do you expect to see a little bit more RPO action there with Kyle Allen? Is that expecting too much on us?
You know what? That's not expecting too much. I think RPO is kind of a main staple in everybody's offense in some type of way. I wouldn't be surprised if you see him move out the pocket a little bit, maybe some rollouts to the right or left to get him going early on and maybe a quick game. But I think, honestly, you're going to see some shots down the field. I think you're going to see some live arm action to see how strong his arm is. And it's just to have a different feel. When you bring a different quarterback in, the opposing team doesn't have a scouting report on that particular guy. They haven't had film from this year on Kyle Allen. So now's the perfect time to mix some things up, take some more shots down the field, open the offense up a tad bit.
Yeah, I'd like to see that as well because you got the receivers, and you were not able to move the ball at all against Washington last week.
No.
You mentioned 148 yards. It was 5 at the half.
Yeah.
And, of course, when you open up the game with a pick 6 on the second play of the game, that really puts you behind the stick. So protect the ball better. I know Lovie Smith had talked about protection all around has to be better.
Yeah.
We saw Davis Mills get sacked 5 times. How much do you think that helps just Kyle Allen, the number of defenses he's seen over his years in the league, being able to foresee some of that?
Oh, man, experience is key. And he can understand. He can see the blitz pre-snap, understand what's going on. Just being a veteran presence in the locker room, but on the field, he can help the offensive line make different mic calls. He can help the receivers understand, hey, you're hot this play. So that anytime you have an experienced guy, they bring some type of advantage to the game.
All right, let's see. Joe here wants to know, everyone knows about the Dolphins' 2-star receivers, but are people overlooking Jeff Wilson Jr. at running back?
Ooh, you know what?
They traded for Jeff Wilson here from San Francisco.
They traded for him, and they already had Raheem Mostert, who I
Who
don't know
is
is
not
playing
playing
today.
so we may see more Jeff Wilson today.
But Jeff has been a huge addition in the running game. So with them two together, I think Jeff is averaging like 6.4 yards a carry right now, and he's sharing the load with Raheem, who's averaging about 4.6, 4.7. Those two guys together are dynamic, and they were together in San Francisco,
Yeah.
so they know how to work together.
Along with Mike McDaniel.
Along with McDaniel, so
back together
he
again.
knows how to get the best out of them, and that is scary for us as a opposing team going against them.
Yeah.
If they're firing on all cylinders, it's going to be tough to stop. But Jeff Wilson is real good.
I think everyone talks so much about Tua Tagovailoa, those receivers there,
Yeah.
and no one really does talk about the run game. It's something that Lovie Smith talked about earlier this week, that he's really impressed with how much that they rely on that run game. It's something that struggled, but I think with the addition of Jeff Wilson, it is something that people should not overlook. You're absolutely right, especially with the Texans, how much they've struggled against the run this year. But I feel like you're going to see this secondary tested a lot more as well today because Tua's got the arm strength. They've obviously got one of the most prolific passing offenses in the NFL right now, and they are absolutely hot. All right, Christian says, what do you expect out of Kenyon Green today? We saw Kenyon Green going one-on-one last week, the last few weeks, against some really tough interior defensive linemen. He's obviously a rookie there at left guard. He's taken his lumps. Lovie Smith said, you just got to get bloodied sometimes as a rookie. I mean, I guess there's really no other better way to put it. But, what do you expect to see out of him? It's tough to be a rookie at that position.
It's tough to be a rookie, and you got to look who we played last week with the Commanders. They had 2 or 3 round 1 caliber defensive ends, tackles. They were really, really good.
Absolutely.
And the best teacher for a rookie is just experience. So you're going to take your lumps. That just comes with it. No matter who you are, some time of year, even if you have a successful rookie year, you're going to take your lumps. So for him, I just want to see him stay consistent, continue to be aggressive, really work his technique in the run game and improve in the pass game. But I think the biggest thing is we want to see him ascend, continue to grow each and every week. It's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah, I want to see him play with some confidence. I know that, they talk about having a goldfish memory, just go in there, forget about the previous play and just try to, start over again. And I hope that Kenyon Green realizes that he's obviously talented. He's starting for a reason for this Texans offensive line. It's not always going to be easy, but, the run game really struggled last week. It was a struggle for everybody really on offense last week. So I hope that with Kenyon Green back there, you can get Dameon Pierce going a little bit again today. That'll help the confidence really of the entire offensive line, which I think, this is the first time we've seen the same starting five week after week after week. So, he's only going to get better. That's what I expect to see out of him today. And there you see Jalen Petrie, another rookie who has had some ups and downs this year, but overall played really nicely, and there's a lot of excitement around him.
Oh, yeah, he's going to be a dynamic player. I can't wait. I mean, he's in the right spot at the right time. Even last week, I think first play of the game or second play of the game, he almost had a pick. He's in the right spot.
Almost had 2 last
Almost
week.
had 2. He's just learning. And when it comes to rookies and when you have rookies that are playing a lot, they're going to make mistakes here and there. But the future is bright for him. I'm excited to see him continue to grow.
Well, he's got a big challenge today, and Steve is asking the question that we're all asking. How do you defend against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle? 2,000 yards receiving combined. They are leading wide receiver duo in the NFL.
And they are rolling right now. 4-game winning streak.
Absolutely.
The last 3 games, they scored at least 31 points. How do you stop them? I think it's tough. You got to be physical with those guys. Those 2 are speedsters. And any receiver, especially those type of guys, they don't like getting hands on them. So if you can be physical at the line of scrimmage, or even have a linebacker come out and hit them, a safety come and hit them, every single chance you get to slow them down. And then you got to figure out ways to get pressure on Tua. Because if you get pressure on him, then you can make him erratic and throw a pass here and there. But
get a pick, maybe,
some type of turnover. But to slow those guys down, I think you had to be physical outside with those guys, and then you got to get pressure on Tua. Otherwise, it's going to be a hard day.
Yeah, and no Derek Stingley, we might mention. He's not allowed a passing touchdown this year.
Tough.
But Desmond King has been doing some nice things. He's played nickel corner. Then he's moved outside last year, moved back outside now with Stingley out. It's going to be him and Steven Nelson. You've got 2 really veteran guys going against these 2 receivers. That should help as well.
It should. And when you have a guy like Desmond King, who's been around a little bit, 6-7 years now, he understands what it takes.
Player, right?
He's very physical, big in stature. But any chance these guys, these DBs or linebackers get, they got to lay hits on not just Tua, but Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, and we talk about not getting a takeaway since in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
But I feel like with going against an offense like Miami's where they're passing the ball a bunch, you do have more opportunities to get takeaways.
True.
These last few teams have just run the ball, but I feel like this might be a chance to get a takeaway.
Very true.
I was telling Desmond King this week, I had a chance to talk to him. Every time that he's gotten a takeaway, we've won. Other than last year's game against the 49ers, in his career, when he's got an interception, the team he's played for has won.
Really?
Yeah, so this year at Jacksonville, last year he had 2 interceptions at Tennessee, and then every year he's played for the Chargers when he's gotten a takeaway, the team has won.
Really? That's
so
impressive.
Rooting for Desmond King there.
Okay.
Or any of these DBs to get a takeaway. I know Jalen Petrie's probably sick to his stomach. He had a few sailed right through his hands. All right, I've got one for you. German Texan wants to know, who do you think will be Kyle Allen's go-to receiver, Cecil?
Oh, Brandon Cooks.
Okay.
No doubt about it. I think this is a game where we see kind of Brandon Cooks
There
kind
he
of
is, right
take
there,
off.
number 13. Yeah.
I think this is the game where you'll see him have his 100 yards, has his big game, kind of his breakout game of the year,
Okay.
I would say. Nico, I think, is playing exceptionally well. He's getting better each and every week. I know he was out a little bit with an injury, but to see him score, seeing him make plays, that's a big deal. He's a big body guy, possession guy. We want to continue to see him get better. But I think this is his type of game today. I truly, truly do.
I like that. I like that pick a lot. I like Nico Collins as well. I think there's a bit of inconsistency, though, with Nico.
It is.
He'll have a great game, and then he'll be sort of quiet the next game. So I'd like to see a little bit more consistency out of Nico. I think if that was there, I love the one-on-one matchups.
Yeah.
I love the fact that quarterbacks trust him. It'll be interesting to see who Kyle Allen, who's his go-to guy, who he sees open, and who he trusts with the ball. But I think Brandon Cooks is a great pick for you there. I'm going to be contrarian, and I'm going to go Nico Collins.
There it is.
I'm going to pick Nico Collins.
There it is.
All right, so we've got a lot going on with the offense. Troy Hairston's a big part of it. A linebacker turned fullback. He's having quite a year. They call him Bam Bam. Some call him T-Roy. And he got a chance to catch up with our very own Drew Doherty earlier in the week.
Troy Hairston, fullback, is the guest this week on the Player Pregame. Troy, good to be with you. You have such an interesting journey. Just last year, you were playing defense. You were a MAC Player of the Year defensively in 2020. Now you're a fullback. What have you learned the most about yourself in this whole transition?
I probably learned the most is that anything that I put my mind to, as long as I work hard and believe in myself, I can do it, I can at least make a good attempt, you know what I mean? So. And
I imagine you've learned a hell of a lot about offense, switching over from that side of the ball to this side. What stood out to you the most about what you've picked up?
Probably the play calling.
Yeah.
Play calling. On defense is maybe one or two words, let you know the front coverage, maybe if there's a blitz in there. But on offense, it literally tells you everybody's job. So it goes from X do this, Y do this, F do this, we're going to motion this way. So that was probably the hardest. It's kind of like picking and choosing the words out so I know what I have to do on that given play.
How much fearlessness do you have to do what you've done, you think?
I feel like I wouldn't say fearlessness. I feel like it'd be more like determination because, everybody goes through anxiety and fear, especially me before a game. So I wouldn't say it's fear, but determination to, not allow a man to make a play. So
yeah. Determination is a big deal because I know you guys got to have it. You want to get that second win. It might start this weekend, wants to start this weekend against Miami. So tell me about what you guys got to do better as an offense to kind of get things going, get the ball, because you had a rare struggle in the run game really for the first time all season last week.
Yeah, and that's our identity. I think what we need to do is just stick to the plan, stick with coaches got planned for us, game plan, and, stick to our identity, which is the run. So I think we're going to be fine, and we just keep pushing, and eventually everything will fall into place.
Tell me about this Miami defensive line from what you've seen. I mean, they've got a lot of – everyone talks about all the playmakers at wide receiver, but defensively they've got some guys who can play, can't they?
Yeah, they got some dogs. They got some players out there, and we played some good D-lines, this whole season. So, but we're going to do our job, and we're going to let the O-line do what they do. So.
Yeah. What's the key for you this week as a fullback as far as helping the offense go?
Probably setting up position blocks, allowing Damian to do what he do, hitting the gap hard and setting up so Damian can slowly chip away at a defense. So.
He calls you T-Roy. It's always fun to hear that. We've heard your running backs coach, Danny Barrett, DB, call you Bam Bam. What's it been like blocking for a fellow rookie and a guy who I'm guessing has become one of your pretty good friends?
It's cool. It's we call it double rook. So whenever we in there, we dap each other up as double rook. And I feel like we kind of have the same mentality when we go in there. And, it's pretty cool. It's chemistry. We have a connection. So we just kind of play off each other, and it's cool to have somebody like myself back there. So.
The way you got ready for a game in college, I know is going to be different than probably the way you get ready for a game in the NFL. How's it changed, though, defensively, offensively? You wake up in the morning, what's different about how you do it now versus how you did it then?
I guess probably the main thing is that film study is looking at different keys and understanding I play defense, so there are things that I can understand on the defensive side that can take over to the offensive side. Tendencies that someone may do on the defensive side that I understand, or things that I know a defensive player may not like, I can take advantage of that. So that's probably the main thing, is applying my knowledge, and just the film study is different.
Troy Hairston, we appreciate the time. Best of luck against the Dolphins, and hope to do this again with you soon.
Thank you.
And there he was, Troy Hairston. They call him Double Rook when he's in the game with Dameon Pierce.
Oh.
When he's lead blocking for Dameon. He said that he'll block for Dameon, and then he'll turn and ask Dameon if that's okay. He just like really wants his approval on every single play. I'd say he's doing pretty well. Dameon Pierce is at 915 scrimmage yards.
Wow.
And he could become just the third rookie in franchise history with 1,000+ scrimmage yards. And he could do it all here in Week 12 if things go well for him. Obviously, last week didn't really help. Pierce's numbers a whole bunch. Texans look to get their ground game going back again. But how much do you enjoy seeing a fullback in their lead blocking for your rookie running back, Cecil?
You know what? I love it. I'm old school when it comes to running the football. I want to see smash mouth. I want to see downhill. That's what I'm used to seeing. It's kind of what I grew up on. I remember the Devontae Leaches of the world.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Just being physical, loving the hit, and him being a former linebacker. This is perfect because he kind of understands, you know, the blocking schemes of the offensive line and where the linebacker's going to float to and who he needs to get. So it makes sense that they transition to a fullback, but I love it.
MAC Defensive Player of the Year, Tyler Marcotte, is telling me in my ear, yes, we know, he's a Chippewa. And, you know, I'm with you, Steve, so I love that we're bringing the fullback back. All right, we're also bringing back Sleeper of the Game presented by Mattress Firm. Cecil, I'll let you go first. Who is your sleeper for today's game?
I don't know if it's really a sleeper. I think it's kind of obvious.
Okay.
I'm going offense, and I'm going Kyle
Oh,
Allen.
I like it.
I think if he has a good game, you could see some surprising things from the Houston Texans today. Some really explosive plays. I think it'll open up the passing. I'll open up the running game, excuse me. But if he plays well, I think you'll see the offense and the team kind of gel around him. And I'm hoping a spark can be shown when he's in the game.
Yeah, I like it. I hope he plays as if he's got absolutely nothing to lose.
Absolutely.
Because he doesn't have anything to lose. You know, he's in there for a reason. He should play loose. He may make some mistakes, but he's got a lot of experience. He said this is the most confidence he's ever had going into a game because he's got all this experience behind him. My sleeper of the game, we just saw him darting in front of the camera a little while ago. Number 1, Tremon Smith. We started the show with him, so I'm going to end the show with him because Miami is allowing 30.2 yards on kickoff returns. That's last in the NFL. Miami is leading in a lot of categories. They're not leading in kickoff returns. So I'm going to go Tremon Smith with the visor. He's going to be my sleeper. I know he's itchy to get a touchdown.
Yeah, he's really good at returns. So and that's a huge part of the game, field position. If you can get some field position going, and he can get the average they're giving up, 30 yards, that would be huge to get us going on offense. So I like that pick.
All right, well, we are just about 35 minutes, just under 35 minutes until kickoff. You can see the game on CBS. You can also listen to it on Sports Radio 610. And you can check out HoustonTexans.com for all of our stories during and after the game as well. The Texans will be back at home. Cecil will be on the field for the Cleveland Browns. Week 13, Deshaun Watson's return. If you want to watch it, HoustonTexans.com/tickets. There's probably some still available. We'd love to see you at NRG Stadium. But that's going to do it for our show. And before we go, I just want to say this is the last show done by our producer, Tyler Marcotte. So he'll probably still be watching and yelling at us, except I won't be able to hear him. But we want to wish him all the best and thank him for a phenomenal, fantastic 5 years of live shows. We're going to miss you so, so much. But that's going to do it for Texans Unlimited Live, presented by Verizon. Thank you to everyone watching. Have yourselves a great game day, and go Texans.